Coming up, we'll transform this dining room into a dramatic entertaining space. All you need are some special paints and key supplies, and you too can have this look in your home. And here's the products we'll need. 2 gallons of Aura interior paint, Standish White in eggshell finish, 2 gallons of Aura Shelburne Buff in matte finish, 1 gallon of Studio Finishes Clear Glaze Extender, 1 gallon of regular clear glaze, a spray bottle, 2 empty cans, an angled paintbrush, a floor staining brush, a chip brush, a wallpaper smoother brush, gloves, stir sticks, and blue painter's tape. Remember to consult with your local Benjamin Moore store to find out the amount of paint you'll need for your specific project.
Now the finishes I'm choosing today are probably the most basic that you'll learn. You'll see that I've painted the wall already, Standish White in an eggshell finish. And you notice that I have this chair rail and a strong baseboard. So I'm going to combine 2 techniques today to really kind of break this up and to give the room a lot of drama. On top, I'm going to do a tea stain finish. And below, we're going to do a simple striae.
Bill has masked the trim with tape, and he's ready to mix the glaze for the striae technique. He'll need to mix 1 part Shelburne Buff paint and 1 part Studio Glaze Extender.
The technique we're using for the striae is actually quite simple, but I'm going to show you ahead of time because once we start, we're going to want to finish the whole room at once. So the technique is to take an area of wall and to evenly mist, getting a fine layer of water. And take our damp towel, wipe everything down to make sure that the area is evenly wet.
Next, use an angled brush and apply the glaze to the wall evenly with vertical strokes. Then, use a chip brush to pull the glaze vertically from top to bottom and create lines.
It's important that the brush actually be held flat against the wall, up against the ferrule.
Also, be sure to wipe the brush each time to remove the paint from the brush, making the strokes more effective. As a last step for the striae, use the wallpaper smoothing brush to vertically comb fine lines into the glaze. Repeat the combing as necessary to produce fine, even lines. Once you've completed this step, let the paint dry for at least 24 hours.
You can see that our striae is finished. So for our next step, we're going to do the tea stain on the top portion. Now our glaze mix is a little different and the technique is different, but we'll explain all of that in a moment.
For the tea stain effect, Bill is mixing 1 part Studio Finishes Clear Glaze and 1 part Shelburne Buff.
All right, so our glaze is mixed and we're ready to start the tea stain. So our first step is we're going to mist the wall evenly with our spray bottle. Then we're going to take a tiny amount of glaze and we're just going to scrub the glaze into the wall in a random fashion, leaving light and then allowing the glaze to get heavy in some areas. As a final step, we're going to take the 4-inch floor staining brush and we're going to widely brush all of the brush strokes out.
So, to recap the tea stain technique, first water mist the area thoroughly. Then, using the angled brush with a small amount of glaze mix, scrub the mix into the wall in a random fashion. Lighter in some areas and heavier in others. As a final step, use the floor staining brush to evenly brush the glaze mix out. Remember, you want the wall to have an aged look, and this is achieved by glossing over the earlier brush strokes. Once you're done, be sure to let it dry before moving the furniture back. The finished striae and tea stain techniques give us the rich, visual textures we wanted. A subtle Tuscan glow that you'll be sure to enjoy for years to come.